just hangs motionless upon the air.
The 1970s weren't just about hit singles. They were about pushing boundaries. This was the decade when rock musicians dared to go long, crafting epic songs that could fill an entire side of a vinyl record, or more. From prog rock journeys to blues improvisations, these aren't just songs, they're experiences. Here are 13 of the longest and most legendary rock songs of the 1970s.
Really don't mind if you sit this one out. My words but a whisper, you definitely say shout.
Released in March 1972 on the album Thick as a Brick, this nearly 44-minute composition was Jethro Tull's satirical take on concept albums. But it became a prog rock masterpiece, framed as a single continuous piece based on a fictional child's poem. It weaves through intricate instrumental passages, lyrical absurdity, and shifting time signatures.
As a brick.
Ian Anderson's flute and theatrical vocals guide the album's dynamic structure, blending folk, rock, and classical influences.
To watch them all aside.
Despite its tongue-in-cheek origins, the song's complexity and ambition won over critics and fans alike, redefining what rock albums could be. Released on October 30th, 1971, as the entire second side of Metal, Echoes is a 23-minute atmospheric epic that helped bridge Pink Floyd's early psychedelia and their future iconic sound. Beginning with a sonar-like ping, the song slowly unfolds with David Gilmour's haunting slide guitar, Richard Wright's layered keys, and ethereal vocal harmonies. The middle section delves into ambient experimentalism before building to a triumphant climax. Echoes wasn't just a song, it was a turning point, hinting at the cinematic scope Floyd would later perfect on The Dark Side of the Moon. Released on September 13, 1972, as the title track of Close to the Edge. This 18-minute suite is a cornerstone of progressive rock, structured in 3 movements: the solid time of change, total mass retain, and I get up, I get down. The song moves through spiritual themes, complex arrangements, and soaring vocals. John Anderson's lyrics are abstract and philosophical, while Steve Howe's guitar and Rick Wakeman's keyboards create a symphonic feel. Close to the Edge became a blueprint for future prog acts and remains essential listening.
Coming closer with our eyes, a distance falls around our bodies. Out in the garden, the moon seems very bright.
Released in October 1972 on the album Foxtrot, Supper's Ready is Genesis's 23-minute progressive rock epic. Divided into 7 parts and filled with surrealism, biblical allusions, and shifting musical landscapes. Peter Gabriel's theatrical vocals guide the narrative, while Tony Banks's keyboards and Steve Hackett's guitar explore everything from gentle balladry to complex, apocalyptic crescendos. The final section, Apocalypse in 9/8, stands as a high-water mark in prog rock. This song became a defining moment for early Genesis, showcasing the band's storytelling ambition before their shift toward mainstream success.
Stand and fight with you, consider reminded of an inner pact between us that's seen as we go.
Released in November 1974 on the album Relayer, the Gates of Delirium is Yes at their most intense and experimental.
Wars that shout in screams of anguish, horsemen fashion bespoils our soul deceiver.
Inspired by Tolstoy's War and Peace, the song spans 22 minutes of shifting moods, beginning with tension-filled melodies that build into a chaotic, percussion-heavy battle sequence. The final section, Soon, offers peaceful resolution with John Anderson's ethereal vocals floating over gentle instrumentation. The track blends fierce musical virtuosity with emotional storytelling and remains one of Yes's most powerful long-form pieces, a bold statement of progressive rock's grand ambitions. Recorded live at the Fillmore East and released on At Fillmore East in July 1971, this 19-minute rendition of You Don't Love Me transforms Willie Cobb's blues standard into a Southern rock epic.
Don't you know you're gonna hurt me so?
The performance features searing guitar work from Duane Allman and Dickie Betts, dynamic tempo shifts, and extended instrumental improvisation. The band explores everything from jazzy interludes to explosive blues solos, showcasing their chemistry and virtuosity on stage. It's not just a jam, it's a statement of raw, expressive freedom that helped define the Allman Brothers' legacy as one of rock's greatest live acts. Released in 1975 on the album Scheherazade and Other Stories, this 24-minute orchestral suite was inspired by the 1001 Nights legend. Divided into 9 interconnected sections, Song of Scheherazade combines classical instrumentation, progressive rock arrangements, and Annie Haslam's soaring soprano vocals. The song's blend of fantasy and musical sophistication captures the theatrical spirit of 1970s progressive rock at its most elegant. Released in July 1973 on a Passion Play, this 45-minute single-track album was Jethro Tull's most ambitious work. A spiritual and theatrical journey through death and the afterlife, the song blends poetic lyrics with elaborate musical passages in spoken interludes. Darker and more abstract than Thick as a Brick, it faced mixed reviews at the time, but gained cult status among prog fans. The album showcases the band's willingness to experiment, combining rock, classical, and jazz into a continuous suite that challenges and rewards listeners with its depth and dramatic flair. Released in October 1971 on Pawn Hearts, this 23-minute track is Van der Graaf, Generator's most ambitious studio recording. A dark and experimental suite, it tells the fragmented psychological tale of a lighthouse keeper confronting isolation, death, and fate. Peter Hamill's expressive vocals, chaotic saxophones, mellotron swells, and abrupt tempo changes create a haunting, avant-garde atmosphere. The song is divided into 10 parts, stitched together in a way that resists traditional structure. It was rarely performed live in full due to its complexity, but it remains a cult classic among prog fans and a prime example of the genre's boldest excesses. 23rd, 1977, as part of the album Animals, Dogs is a cynical and haunting look at cutthroat ambition and corporate betrayal. Originally titled You've Got to Be Crazy, the song evolved into a 17-minute epic led by David Gilmour's piercing guitar solos and Roger Waters' bleak lyrics. With shifting tempos, acoustic interludes, and eerie synthesizers, Dogs paints a dystopian portrait of business-driven dehumanization. It's the centerpiece of Animals, itself a concept album inspired by Orwell's Animal Farm. Dogs stands as one of Pink Floyd's most powerful yet underrated long-form compositions. Whipping Post by the Allman Brothers Band, especially in its iconic 22-minute live version from At Fillmore East, 1971, is a tour de force of musical architecture. Built on an unconventional 11/8 time signature, the song opens with a pulsing bass riff that immediately sets it apart. The structure unfolds in waves, moving between tight, blues-rooted verses and expansive improvisational passages. Duane Allman and Dickie Betts trade soaring guitar solos, while Greg Allman's tortured vocals anchor the emotional core. Dynamic shifts in tempo, key, and volume add to its dramatic tension. Whipping Post is more than a jam. It's a composition that blends form and freedom into Southern rock perfection. Released in 1978 on Hemispheres, Enignis Exa-1 Book 2 is an 18-minute progressive epic that blends mythology, science fiction, and musical complexity. The song picks up where Book 1 left off, imagining a battle between Apollo logic and Dionysus emotion, symbolizing the struggle within the human mind. Rush delivers 6 movements of shifting time signatures, intricate guitar riffs, and explosive drumming from Neil Peart. Geddy Lee's soaring vocals tie the narrative together. It's one of Rush's most ambitious pieces, challenging, philosophical, and a cornerstone of their classic prog era. These tracks weren't made for radio. They were made to challenge, mesmerize, and inspire. Which one is your favorite? Which epic would you play on repeat? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep the vinyl spinning.